Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Someone told me to get a pop shield for the microphone. I'm definitely working on that. Thank you so much. And look, I just need that feedback in the comment box to make sure that the podcast becomes a little bit better for you. Welcome back to the evening update. We are now confirming that Tottenham Hotspur will not be in the race for Rafinha anymore, as they are now set to make a bid for Richarlison. We'll also talk about William Saliba. Arsenal just turned down an offer from Olympic Marseille. It is now confirmed, done and dusted. Saliba will be at Arsenal next season, or at least for the next 2 years left on his contract. He will be an Arsenal player. We'll talk about that. Medicals complete for Matt Turner. Like I reported yesterday, he was in London for his medicals. An official announcement should be coming in very soon, but medicals done for Matt Turner. David on Stein says Lisandro Martinez right now, Arsenal look like the most realistic destination. That is according to David on Stein. And of course, we'll talk about the midfield update, where Arsenal are now linked with Arthur Melo, Rabiot, Yuri Tillemans in the same day, within just 24 hours. 3 players playing in the same position, and we have had a kind of a debate about where these 3 lads play, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video. I'll talk about it at the end. Why I think Arthur Melo, Rabiot would actually still be good buys if Arsenal don't get Yuri Tillemans. They would still be good buys even when we have Vieira and Martin Odegaard. Many of my people in the group feeling, Cossy, they are attacking midfielders when you have enough of the lot. I think all these players can play as central midfielders, and actually very, very good ones. Hit the like button. Let's get the video to 600 likes. Subscribe to the podcast. We're very close to 47. Why not? Just put a subscribe. Just press that subscribe button if you're new. And even if you're not new and you feel, yeah, this guy is consistent, he's there, and at least 40% of his news is true and 60% is rumors, but I would just subscribe. Thank you so much. Do that for me. Right, let's get to the content. Let's start off with Tottenham Hotspur that are out of the race for Rafinha. Absolute sins. Absolute sins. Listen, so Tottenham Hotspur are now set to make a bid for Richarlison in the coming days. This news is breaking, but not very new, because I reported that was yesterday that David Ornstein had talked about Tottenham Hotspur going for Richarlison, and the interest in him was absolutely genuine. Now, of course, Richarlison has been speaking around this. He said, look, I've told Frank Lampard, I've talked to the board, I've talked to my agents, and everybody knows at this football club what my intentions are and what's going to happen with me this summer. I think, it says when it comes to moving or leaving, you don't want to just speak, but I think it's talking about leaving the club. Of course, we've had interest in Rafinha. We've had interest from Chelsea. We've had interest from Tottenham Hotspur regarding all this, regarding Richarlison. And now it looks like Tottenham Hotspur could be the team winning Richarlison. However, it also means that the Spurs will sign Rafinha at a fee around 60 million euros. And that's what I'm going to ask you on this show. Do you think maybe instead of going for Rafinha 70 million, Arsenal should rather sign Richarlison for 60 million, right? Let me know in the comments below. Everton, I believe, to want more than that. But the big news for Arsenal here is that if they get Richarlison, then they're out of the way for Rafinha. I mean, they're the closest enemies at the moment. They're trying to make a bid to Leeds United. They've signaled Leeds United that they want to make a bid. So anytime they make a bid, they just make things a little bit more complicated. And of course, David Ornstein just confirmed that this is a deal. He was speaking on Haters TV, and he said this is a deal that's going to take some time. Like, we will see where it ends, but it's going to roll on. And with such deals, a lot of competition. They're not going to be easy to be decided, and they will not be decided quickly. However much Arsenal put in a bid for Richarlison, for Rafinha, it's not going to be an easy process to get the deal done. So when you have some of your enemies, when you have some of your arch nemesis leaving the stage, it doesn't make you any worse. It actually makes you better. So Tottenham now focusing on Richarlison. Do you think Richarlison is better than Rafinha though? Let me know in the comments below, because a couple of people told me, Cossy, we should go for Rafinha. Why do we even bother going? We should go for Richarlison. Why do we even bother going for Rafinha, who is quite expensive and has a lot of competition around him? Matt Turner's medicals were completed yesterday. We're expecting an official announcement from Arsenal very, very soon on the player. Should be joining the player should be joining the rest of the squad in the preseason preparations that are starting next month. The players that are not involved with the team, with their international teams, have already started coming back. We've seen the likes of Mohamed Elneny, working out hard. We've seen the likes of Edin Ketia working out hard. So they've already started coming back, and we expect serious preseason next month. That is July, starting July. I think it's July and September, and then in August, the 5th, we have Premier League football, starting, and transfers definitely continuing. So here we are talking about, Matt Turner, second goalkeeper to Aaron Ramsdale, and of course that deal is already done. Medicals done and dusted. Now I want us to talk about William Saliba. Before we talk about Saliba, let's first talk about William Saliba. Interesting news coming in from Foot Mercato, confirming that Arsenal turned down. I think that is the tense that in which we're speaking, or should I say, Arsenal have turned down officially now any offers from Olympique Marseille to sign William Saliba. Now the feeling, and as I reported in January and February, the feeling around this was William Saliba was intrigued by the project at Marseille, and Marseille were also very, very happy to keep the player, and they wanted not only another loan deal, but also to buy him permanently. They wanted to explore the option of buying him permanently right from Arsenal. However, confirmed, Arsenal turned down all efforts of William Saliba leaving the club. It is now confirmed that the next 2 years of this contract are going to be very, very decisive on where he plays, in the coming years. Honestly, if we give him game time, if we show him that we can trust him, I'm more than sure. I'm more than very, very sure he will commit his future to Arsenal Football Club. The project that is ongoing at the moment, the kind of progress the team is on, I think if he looks at it, he'll be like, okay, maybe there is something. Maybe they have something. I'm gonna give it a try. Marseille wanted him. They confirmed that through their president. Matteo Gendouzi as well came out and said, look, we want to do whatever there is possible to keep the player, William Saliba, at the team. But Saliba made up his mind to come back to Arsenal and play and fight for game time. And Arsenal also just made up their mind they will not be listening to any offers, and they will also not be selling the young French centre-back. Interesting. But talking about centre-backs, Lisandro Martinez, David Ornstein. What an update. What a story. This is what David Ornstein just said on Lisandro Martinez. Arsenal look like the most, at the moment, Arsenal are the most likely destination. Arsenal are the most likely destination for Lisandro Martinez. They will keep on pushing and pushing and pushing to get the deal done. First initial bids turned down around 30 million euros, but that will not deter Arsenal from trying and pushing for the signing of Lisandro Martinez, as per David Ornstein. Now, listen. There has been talk of Nuno Tavares crossing over to Marseille, and Arsenal are actually in direct active talks with Olympique Marseille for Nuno Tavares to go there. It is now believed that Arsenal will get that deal done, and Lisandro Martinez will be the player coming in. It is Lisandro Martinez coming in for Nuno Tavares. He comes in as a player who covers both left back position positions and also the centre back position, and that is why Arsenal and Mikel Arteta are really keen on him. David Onstein says he's a player Mikel Arteta, particularly Mikel Arteta, likes him. So that is according to David Onstein. The most likely destination for Lisandro Martinez is Arsenal Football Club this summer. If anything happens, right? If anything happens in this deal, just know I've reported about it. Sincerely, I have reported around it. But before we get the podcast to an end, now there are three midfield midfielders discussed at the moment. That is Yuri Tillemans. We are also talking about Rabiot and Arthur Melo. Now, today, it was reported that Arsenal are interested in Adrian Rabiot since yesterday, actually. And as well, of course, Arthur Melo, as per Ekrem Corner, Arsenal are still exploring the possibilities for Arthur Melo. They would love to get in anyone of those three midfielders. But look, Tillemans is the priority. We've talked about that. He's the player they want. He's the player Arsenal have set as a priority. And they've agreed personal terms with the player. They've agreed a couple of steps into the deal. They're only waiting for that agreement between them and Leicester City. Leicester still asking for around 30 to 33 million euros plus supposed add-ons, which Arsenal are not agreeing to. But the debate on the WhatsApp group today has been Rabiot and Arthur Melo should not join Arsenal because they play where Odegaard and Fabio Vieira play. Now, I will confirm this according to the Ghana blog or Guna blog. I don't know how they spell that, but they're very, very reliable. Arsenal view Fabio Vieira as #10, #8. I think you understand when I say that. They look at him as a number 8, and they also look at him as a number 10. And literally that means that if you played a 4-2-3-1 system with Thomas Partey in the pivot, then Fabio Vieira as a number 8 would be sitting in that double pivot alongside Thomas Partey. And then if we played a 4-1-4-1 system where you have two attacking midfielders playing in front of Thomas Partey in a single pivot, then it means Fabio Vieira, who is left-footed, would play as the left attacking midfielder, and Martin Odegaard, who is right-footed, would play as the right attacking midfielder alongside Saka, and then Vieira would play alongside Martinelli or Emile Smith-Rowe. So listen, that for me does not block any moves for Adrian Rabiot and Arthur Melo. We all know that Arthur Melo can play as a number 10, but he can also play very well as a number 8. So can Adrian Rabiot. They're all very talented. They're all very, very gifted. And they're players that are very, very versatile when it comes to that midfield. They can give you lots of quality. And what you're looking in Arthur Melo and Adrian Rabiot is you're looking for that extra quality and experience that can push you to the next level as players like Fabio Vieira develop and the likes of Martin Odegaard. Because Vieira said it himself, look, I'm young, but when it comes to what I see in this Arsenal side, I look at Martin Odegaard as a player who is very, very similar to me. Very, very, my look like. So you want someone who can give you something different. Partey has been on and off. I think Arthur Melo can play in that single pivot, but Rabiot would do it even better. So if Rabiot joins Arsenal, he can play as an attacking midfielder. No problem with that. But there is also a huge possibility that when Partey gets injured, he can come in and play in that single pivot, especially in games that that you feel we can easily, totally dominate. My name is Cossy, the like button. Subscribe to the podcast, and I will speak to you in the next one.